we've got to thank Mark Phelan as well for dropping off a whole bunch of those pie shed pies at the start of the game, which were fantastic. But the footy, it's back on again now. The umpire throws the ball up to get the second half underway. Schoenmakers gets the tap down on the defensive side. Purdy's in the middle for the Eagles. He gets a high up and under Rainmaker style kick. McConnell sits underneath it, bounces off his chest. The rebounding ball goes to the teeth of goal for Vermont. Styles, Davis. The defensive fist wins out. We'll have a boundary throw in to start the third term. Vermont can't afford just to roll with that, that usual lull you get at the start of the third quarter. They've just got to come out here really with their skates on, Ray, and play some good footy for the first 5 or 10 minutes to work their way back into it.
Yeah, they don't want Rowville to score the first 1 or 2 goals because that really puts them behind the 8 ball. But the premiership quarter, though, look, we'll just see what develops because I'm sure there's going to be some great football.
Purdy has just set himself behind the footy. So he gets the turnover and the Vermont go back inside forward 50, but then give it straight back. Cameron Manuel's got the ball for the Hawks. Kicked a good goal out in front of us here in the first term. Kicks a beauty. Plays on immediately, does Frawley. Goes to Boavita on the wing. He's going to need a big second half from him. Goes in both the Schoenmakers. It just goes over the top of his head, but he's good enough to get his own crumbs. Handballs to Willoughby. To Koenig. Now Allen. Inside 450 for the Hawks. Their first foray forward. Robinson gets in front of Garner. Garner probably had most of it, but drops the ball, and the ball's seen over the boundary line by Connor McCafferty from Vermont.
Just don't need to rush it, Rowville. They didn't rush it in that first half. Just a little bit of that there.
Eddie Robinson's had one of those almost days where he just could have clunked onto a couple of big marks and he could have had a real impact on this game. Manuel gets first hands on the footy from the stoppage, but is wrapped up in a good tackle by Timmy Johnson, the Vermont skipper. Ball at about 48 metres out here for the Hawks. High half forward flank. Purdy, McCarthy, they're all in there for Vermont. Robinson's in there for the Hawks. McCarthy gets the ball out to Deneen. Goes to Preto at centre half back. He stops, he props, eventually drops his left foot into this ball to centre half back. And it's a poor kick and a great mark going back with the flight of the ball is Robert Hill. Inspired by himself, plays on to Schoenmakers, gets it to Koenig out wide, that's an inverted corkscrew punt.
Bounced right on the line.
Bounced on the line. The line belongs to the umpire. The line belongs to the umpire, so we're going to have a boundary throw in right out in front of us here in the central commentary position at the Ray Baird Memorial Oval.
The Vermont people not happy with that boundary umpire decision, but the ball has to be completely over the line before it's out of bounds.
Ball thrown in. Schoenmakers down to Manuel. Wadley in there as well. Goes in hard, doesn't he, Sam Wadley? Ball spills. Great work from McCafferty. Worked his way out of the contest beautifully. Runs into trouble. Swings inboard. Long kick inside 50. Coming out and meeting the ball terrifically well. There was Allen. He can switch now for Rowville. They look to move the ball quickly. Got the ball at half-back. They go into the middle. Here's Boavita. Really liked his game and energy so far. It's a beautiful kick to Davey.
Beautifully weighted kick there.
Left half forward for Rowville. He marked it just inside the 50. Chips over the top. Who's kept running? Boavita. Terrific work. He was the one with the ball at half-back. He's deep in the left forward pocket. We'll take a good kick from here. Mitch Garner kicked one earlier for Rowville from this pocket.
Just by the way he's running in this quarter, I wouldn't be surprised if he's had a bit of a roast from the coach there because he was very quiet in the first half.
It's proved to be a tough pocket to kick from. Garner kicked one earlier on, but everyone else has had trouble from there.
Missed to the right usually. Boavita comes in and he doesn't make the same mistake. He's kicked an absolute beauty. Boavita kicks his first for the afternoon, and we've been going 3.5 minutes in this third term, and Rowville extend their lead to 26 points.
He's one of the young players, Brett, that Rowville really need to get going because he is a goal kicker. He kicked 5 goals in that game here against Norwood a few weeks ago, so he can certainly kick a goal as he proved from that pocket.
Yeah, and you've got a lot of Rowville players in that forward line, Ray, that are capable of kicking multiple goals, and that's what Vermont have got to try and deal with here in the second half.
So first blood to the Hawks. It's exactly what Vermont didn't need. Schoenmakers takes a ride in the ruck contest, gets the tap down, handball over the back from Johns. The ball in a contested situation. Castricum's in there for the Eagles, and the umpire comes in, hugs himself and says, "Give it to me, fellas. I'll do that again." Lockie McDonald was big in the first half of the Hawks.
Bernie Deneen's tagging Alex Frawley at the moment.
Alex Frawley trying to get to Parker as well.
Rowville get the ball out to Kinder. He kicks out to the space on centre wing, and running onto it and taking a nice mark is Matty Davey. Goes short again to Manuel. plays on straight away. Long inside forward 50 to a central position. Garner's on the lead. Almost chopping off and taking a mark was Johns. Robinson the first one there. Files the handball out to Koenig. He's got plenty of time. Snaps around the corner. And that's a bit of a wasted shot on goal, unfortunately, just on the left-hand side. 1 point to the Hawks. 10-10-70, the Rowville Footy Club. They lead Vermont 5-12-42. A 28-point lead here in the Baird Brasher Cup.
One thing that Rowville do, Brass, and they've proved it in this quarter, they're prepared to kick the ball into the open spaces and back their teammate to get there.
Joel Perry kicks it long to half-back. Terrific mark by Staples, and they're off Vermont. Kicks to half-forward looking for Davis. Couldn't quite take the mark above his head. Wants the boundary line and gets it. Fast-moving football from the Eagles.
What is
right
this?
half-forward.
The Mitch Davis story, Brash. He's been super impressive today. Where's he from? And
he's from down the Gippsland way, I believe, from Maffra, where he's used to really playing on big grounds. One of the things he did say to me a couple of weeks ago is he likes the bigger grounds where he can run, and these smaller grounds he's taking a little while to get used to.
Free kick off the footy is going to go to Vermont.
You could have a point there, Brash, because every time he leads, he heads out to that open land over the other side of the boundary line.
Castricum hand passes to Parker, who kicks to the top of the square, and it just got out the back, not being able to take the mark. There was McConnon. Ball going in hard. Vermont players jumping all over it. The ball will go out of bounds in the left forward pocket for the Eagles.
Just fell in his lap, didn't it, Wade McConnon?
They trail. They've got 27 points. Ball up in the 50. Again, looks like we're going to have another stoppage. No, Rove will get the ball out of there well. A snap by Lockie Johns. This is what he can do. Can that lift Vermont?
Yep.
Lockie Johns has his second for the day. Back to 21 points here. Vermont 6-12-48. Rowville 10-9-69.
They had the footy, the Hawks, and the handball. It was just was cut off beautifully by Johns. He read it better than anybody, and the finish around the corner was a good piece of football, and shows why the young man attracted interest from VFL clubs over the summer period.
Probably I'd rather see him stay on the ground though.
And it's come straight off. A three-way change. Wadley, Castricum, and Johns all made their way to the boundary line at the same time. Make it 4. Sam Anson as well. So Steve Cochran's men doing their sharpest work on the boundary. Schoenmakers has absolutely dominated the hit-out situation. Gets it straight to Manuel, who runs through a few. Goes long inside 50, and Robertson led to the ball. Mark dropped by McCafferty. Umpire premature blow of the whistle. His second effort's fantastic, but just beaten in it by Davey. Back to Manuel. Boundary umpires intervened and said the ball's gone over the boundary line.
Gee, that was a great tackle by Matty Davey then. He really locked him up.
And McCafferty, just the uncontested mark, just spent it before he had it. That's the sort of stuff that costs. Lucky he went out of bounds, otherwise it was going straight back inside forward 50 for the Hawks.
It's 8-1 in favour of Rowville this quarter.
8-1. Is that what you said?
Correct.
Yeah. It's a large discrepancy, and Schoenmakers, he's probably better in the centre than this sort of boundary throw-in, but he gets first hands on that one. Back to Manuel again. He's done some sharp work on the bottom of the pack so far this quarter. Out to Wale Buxton. At the feet of Mendes, his footy bounces. Laying a strong tackle was Troy Allen.
Brash, everything that Vermont's doing is under pressure. Rowville just smother the ball carrier, don't they?
Exactly.
Wale Buxton and Schoenmakers. That one's a draw. On hands and knees is Hicks. Tries to fire the handball out to Nick Schoenmakers, but the Vermont midfielders have other ideas. Kyle Emley, a bit of push and shove. Don't mind it. 10-9-69 plays 7-12-54. Kick goes forward. Koenig.
Tackle.
Good tackling pressure from the Vermont side. The ball's still on centre wing. Garner's in the ruck now. Frawley against Deneen. Frawley gets there first, but goes to ground. Deneen affects the tackle. Yeah, there's a... Here in the effects, Mike, people are just getting a bit heated here.
Got to say, I'm really enjoying this Alex Frawley Bernie Deneen contest at the moment. It's none, both are really giving it everything here.
Both hard nuts. Aaron Johns cops one against him for holding the ball. Deneen gets it to Stiles, whose kick inside forward 50 is an absolute ripper, and there's a mark inside forward 50 by McConnon. He then plays on. Not exactly sure what's happening, is there's a bit of a fracas on centre wing, and everyone seems to be watching that. I'm the only one here watching the bloody football. Where's
It's
the
gonna
ball?
be downfield.
Yeah, I think it's going to end up going the way of McConnon. He's going to end up with a shot on goal from about 40 out directly in front. I'm glad one of us was actually watching the action.
Well done, Paul, because we certainly weren't.
I think it was interesting. Bernie was put down, but he didn't even have the footy.
No,
so
yeah.
he
I think McConnell took the mark anyway.
Yeah,
the
he
kick
did.
from Styles was fantastic.
He was lucky because he took off and got run down pretty quick,
then
so he'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah. So it's almost there. Shot on goal via stealth for Wade McConnell.
He really needs to kick this. It's an important goal here.
And you should kick it. 40 metres out, directly in front. Good footballers don't miss from there, and Wade McConnell has absolutely nailed that. So there's a good goal for the Vermont side. They move to 6-12-48. Rowville 10-9-69. I'm not sure what's going on with the scoreboard here. It's going up and down. 7-12-54 it is now.
Yeah, 10-9-69 lemon chicken. So that's looking forward to a bit of lemon chicken tonight.
Yeah, what happened there, Paul, was Vermont kicked a goal and they just added it after you read
No,
the score.
it said 7-12-54 before he kicked the goal, and then when he kicked the goal, it went back to 6-12-48.
I think they're just trying to confuse you there.
Well, the bloody worked. 25 points of margin in favour of the Hawks.
Ball back in the middle, Garner again, straight down, but John sharks it for Vermont, kicks it inside 50. Contest there, well done by Wilcox, brought it to ground.
Free
it's going to
kick.
be a high tackle.
Vermont have just enjoyed a little quite good purple patch here for the last 2 or 3 minutes.
It's going to go to Mendes. Really good inclusion for Vermont this year as he kicks towards Davis over his head. Chance for Rowville to match up. Nobody really wanted it though. Bernie's hassling back to the goal square and he's got a rush behind there. So Vermont edge closer here.
Yeah, 14 points. I mean, you know, I think this is, they realise now that if they've got to throw caution to the wind if they're going to get back in this game.
A quick shout out to broadcast manager Ben Warren Smith, who's listening and watching in from his 17th floor apartment in Sydney on his smart TV. Too fancy for us here in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne. As Rowville, they've worked the ball out of defence. A strong contested mark on the opposite wing. Long down the line in the direction of Garner. Leads to the footy nicely in front of Whale Buxton. So more slow movement of the footy, Ray. This is what we've liked from them so far. Hicks kicks a fantastic one to Aaron Johns. 50 metres out where the boundary line meets the 50-metre arc. Goes to the pocket again. Garner does the hard work with the body. The footy just evades him. Parker runs the footy over the boundary line. We're going to have a boundary throw in right out in front of the light pole in the left forward pocket for the Rowville Footy Club. They currently lead this game 10-9-69. Now the scoreboard says 7-13-55, Soupy. I'm not quite exactly sure what to think here.
Yeah, it is 7-13, Paul.
It was a rush behind, Seymour.
But there has been 7 goals kicked by Vermont.
So the margin back to 14 points.
Rowville wouldn't mind this stoppage at the moment because Vermont have come out here in the third quarter and have had all their momentum.
Ball comes back into play. Rowville still working hard inside their forward 50. Davidson to Johns.
Oh,
very lucky to get away with that. There was Joel Perry. Tried to sell a bit of candy, but the turnover comes anyway. And the quick shot on goal slams into the woodwork. I think that was Stapleton.
very lucky there, Vermont. They nearly were penalised for some sloppy play.
Will be brought back in the back pocket. Harry Murphy chips over the top. Mendes starting to get involved for Vermont. Plays on him to his left foot. Along down the line looking for Bernie Deneen. He's pushed out over the line. And another throw in. Centre wing right in front of the interchange gates. Kyle Staples comes off the ground. Umpire throws it in. Whale Buxton been good in this term. Parker sharks it, but there's a whistle. It's going to go to Rowville. It's going to go to Mitch Garner in the ruck. Been good today. Mitch Garner chips in short. Almost to his opposite number. And Wadley just knocked it out of Jacob Castricum's hands as we go to Dyson Baker for around the grounds thanks to the local Burger Co.
Yeah, just a couple of updates from a couple of games, boys. Forest Hill currently lead Nuttawalding by 13 points. Glenwaverley Hawks trail Ferntree Gully by 14 points. So a couple of games that we probably didn't expect that are in the balance coming into three-quarter time.
Ball kick to half forward, roving the pack well was Davey. The hand pass back. Little kick by Burns, finds Manuel.
He's had a big quarter, this bloke in front of us.
Manuel, he's a good player.
Cam Manuel.
Right in front of us, Cam Manuel goes long inside 50. Getting at the back there was Hicks, couldn't mark, wore it in the end. Ball spills down. It's Ryan Hicks who's wrapped up. I'm going to go to Soupy Campbell thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Yeah, although Rowville dominating the hit-outs 14-4, Vermont actually topped in the clearances 10-6.
There you go. The words from Soupy. Hit-outs don't matter. Rowville have the ball inside their forward 50. They've been pretty good so far in the third term, Vermont, in locking them down and not allowing them uncontested shots on goal, and then being good enough to rebound the footy back down the other end. Something which they struggled with in the first half of this game. Frawley lays a tackle when his Vermont opponent didn't have the ball, but it's not going to matter. Joel Perry, a couple of bounces leading out from full back, gets it to Preto, gets it back again. Oh, he's lost the footy there. That's unlucky, and the kick eventually comes back inside forward 50 for Rowville, but nobody at home, and Adam Parker chops that one off. Goes back to Perry. Long out to the high half forward flank. Preto's worked hard. Handballs. Johns. Stabbing ball, chopped off by Garner, who plays on and drops it inside 50 in the direction of Aaron Johns, who takes a low diving mark to his right-hand side. Turnovers again have cost the Vermont side.
He just stopped there, Cam Purdy. He didn't lead up at the footy and just let Garner run past him.
It's going to be a tough shot on goal for Aaron Johns.
Good first name.
Almost right out exactly where the boundary line intersects with the forward 50. On the right side for a right footer, so if that's any consolation, it's going to have to be a mighty kick from that position. He's got a couple of teammates on the goal line. Lockie McDonald sniffing around. Kick goes towards goal now. He looks like he's just pushed it to the skinny side. It didn't have the legs anyway, and eventually goes over for a rush behind. Rowville 10-11-71, lead Vermont 7-13-55. 16 and a half minutes gone here in the third term.
Long kick to the wing for Vermont. Sorry, half back, nothing. Doing Preto over the top of it. No, it's going to go against Preto. A free kick to Rowville.
Willoughby.
Gavin Willoughby. And put it back inside 50.
Did the captain run?
No. Matty Robinson, the captain.
Left foot to the top of the goal square. Robinson positioning as well terrifically well. Just gave a little tight little nudge there early enough to get position, and he's taken the mark, and Matt Robinson will line up 25 metres out directly in front.
Smart use of the body.
The Vermont people in front of us weren't happy, and I agree with them. Robbo did put his hand in his back, but it's on the blind side of the umpire. The umpire's on the other side. You've got to remember that. It was early enough,
I think.
If you get away with it, it's smart football.
Got to take the good with the bad.
I think more the issue was having Robbo matched up on Sam Wadley, who's about half his size. He just brushed him away like he was a little puppy.
Robinson comes in, important kick, and he likes it off the boot, and he's drilled it. Robinson has his first, and Rowville extend their margin 11-11-77 to 7-13-55. They have just opened the margin back out to 22 points. And around the grounds quickly, we've got Heathmont, thanks to the local Burger Co. Heathmont lead Baronia at Tormore Reserve 41-27.
Didn't someone tip Heathmont?
It wasn't me.
Maybe Dyson.
It was me.
Yeah. There we go. Sorry, we forgot about self-promotion. Love it.
Ball back in the middle here at Seabeck Oval. Garner and Whale Buxton. It's the Vermont ruckman that gets the tap down straight into the path of Lockie Johns, who carves his way through. He goes to the goal square. Styles is in there. Ball at ground level now for the Eagles. And the umpire's paid a free kick. And I don't think the shot on goal was going to count. And it's going back to the Eagles. So almost a certain goal coming up here for Daniel Mendez.
You know, Daniel Mendes is certainly a really, really important, won't say he's a recruit because he only spent a year away from the club, but he's put his body on the line for years for Vermont.
Absolute gimme goal coming up. The quick reply for the Eagles. Daniel Mendez makes no mistake with that one. 11-11-77 the Hawks, 8-13-61 the Eagles. 16 points of margin here, 19 points. The Eagles refuse to go away.
But they refuse to go away, and look, you've got to give them credit. They're fighting it out. But look, it's just that they've got to try and limit Rowville's scoring, because they're kicking a few goals, Vermont, but then Rowville's only just getting enough to keep that lead in front of them all the time. They've got to shut them down.
Nice little bit of flash of brilliance there from Lockie Johns. Certainly worked his way into the game.
He's one of the Vermont boys that really has lifted after half-time, Aaron.
Bernie Deneen's going to come off with a blood rule here. Umpire still, he tried to just get rid of it himself, but umpire said you've got to go off.
Just go through the lines, Bernie.
Down to Grant Campbell for Choose Tap Match Stats.
Inside 50s this quarter, 9-6 in favour of Rowville, and they've had a lot more of the ball, 31 kicks to 21.
A slight delay here. Both teams decide to make a couple of changes because of the blood rule. Shane Makers goes into the ruck for Rowville. Parker on for Deneen.
Might have been a bit more than that before I put the dirt on it.
Maybe she'll kiss it better for you, Bernie.
Yeah, a little bit of Bernie through the effects, Mike. Ball back in the middle. Rowville work at Manuel's in there. Tackled well. Players jump on him. Another bounce.
You call Manuel then, boys, and look, he's had a great third quarter. He's really stepped up.
It's been huge.
Another one of those mid-sizey type players. It's quick.
Yep.
Mark over his head. Another good ruck contest. Give that one to Shane Makers. Fall in there. I think, no, it was McDonald wrapped up straight away. Whale Buxton throwing his body around. Needs to do it. Shane Makers wins the tat. Again, they just all jump on. Tight here. Important stage of the game. Umpire's going to throw it up again. That's 70, 80 metres out from the goal of Rowville. Tap trickles forward. Preto off the back, gets tackled by McDonald, and we're going to have another bounce.
Preto is the man that's gone to Lockie McDonald here in the second half, and I don't think McDonald's had a touch since half-time, and Preto's had quite a handy game for the Eagles floating in across half-back, so good coaching move then by Steve Cochran.
Another clearance to Parker as he hand passes it out. Rowville will pick it up at the back. Manuel sort of handed it over to Emily, though, who takes it off to McCafferty, who's quick on his feet. Drills inside forward 50. It's going to be a free kick. It's going to be a push.
Davis.
No, Mitch Davis. He's a long way out. Might fancy himself the way he's just sort of turned his back.
Boy from Mafra.
Mafra.
I'll tell you what, Connor McCafferty's had a really good game for Vermont. He's been one of the very few Vermont boys that has, really put his hand up so far in this game. He's run, he's tackled. All right, he's been caught a couple of times, but I'll tell you what, he's been showing a lot more endeavour than some of his other counterparts.
He's got leg speed.
2 goals so far for Mitch Davis. And a good recruit. 12 goals coming into today, and it's a long kick, but it's across the face too far and hits the behind post. Out of bounds on the full.
No score. The margin remains at 16 points. 22 minutes gone here in the third quarter. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on the live stream on 98.1 FM Radio Eastern. This fantastic work on AFL Game Day. Of course, brought to you by Pancake Parlour, Boa Vita, Whale Buxton. Handball's wide to Parker, who's been sensational for the Eagles this afternoon. Goes long to the goal square, roving the back of the pack brilliantly was Davis. Gets the handball out to McConnell, who just trips over in the tackle. The quick kick when he was pushed was Mitch Davis again, and he's kicked out of bounds on the full. The last 2 times he's touched the footy, this time to the opposite side.
Just chances again, Vermont. They need to take these little half chances. That one probably a bit tougher.
The Hawks, they just need to find some consistent possession here and work hard to get the ball outside their outside of their defensive 50. Too many times it's come straight back. This kick's more measured. It goes over the head of Hicks, McConnon, but the ball bounces nicely for Willoughby, and crisis averted for the Rowville side as Willoughby takes a bounce through Seabeck Oval, kick smothered. But leading in the race there is Davey. Picks it up, tackled. Stapleton's in there for the Hawks. So good work from the Eagles. They didn't quite have control of that footy, the Hawks. Crowd really getting into this one. 16 points the margin in favour of the home side. Shoalmakers and Whale Buxton. Shoalmakers gets the tap down into the path of Allen. Gets the handball along. Ball inside forward 50, and standing all on his own is the man of the moment, the man of the quarter, Cameron Manuel, who kicked the goal from this exact spot at just about 10 metres further out in the first term. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Marks inside 50 this quarter, 5-0 in favour of Rowville.
Well, that's a damning stat. Now, marks inside 50 constitute uncontested shots on goal. So Cam Manuel. The last one, he put it just at the top of the right-hand post, and it just held its line. Wasn't too much left to right or right to left on it.
Just enough to get the edge.
Let's see what he does here. Cam Manuel, to extend the margin for the Hawks and give them a little bit more breathing space. That is a carbon copy of the first one. That is an absolute ripper. That's great off the boot. It's smooth. The technique is perfect. I think they found a footballer in Cam Manuel, the Rowville Footy Club, Ray Baird. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Yeah, look, he's really been good today, and that, as you said, that kick was spot onto the one he kicked earlier. It looked like it was going to go over the right-hand goal post, but at the last minute it just curved in. Yeah, look, they got him from the waffle. I don't know how they got him, but he was playing with Subiaco last year, and he's come to Melbourne, and they're lucky enough to pick him up.
Subiaco Lions, of course. I think they won the premiership last year.
Yeah, and they
currently
currently sit atop the West Australian Football League ladder.
Ball back in the middle. Schoenmakers wins it down to Robinson, who tried to bullock his way out. Schoenmakers put his... Robinson again just appeared with it. Couldn't get boot to ball. Vermont on a free kick.
Right. You can catch Subiaco tomorrow on 7, mate. I think they play Swan Districts.
Oh, they're on?
Probably only on in Perth, though.
Oh, I was going to say. I thought so. All up. Third man up. Tapping it over the top. Leading out in the race, McCarthy, but he ran past it. Players go all over the place at the moment. Putting his body over the ball there was Frawley. We're going to have a bounce right in front of us. Been plenty of stoppages this quarter. Castricum, Schoenmakers again gets the tap. Robinson sharked it well. Little hand pass back. Kinder was there. Both players put their body over the ball. Kinder went back in and got it again. Wadley jumped on him. Umpire said high tackle. Jay Kinder had a great game for Rowville today. He drills it straight down the middle inside 50. Garner.
Good mark.
Umpire says no.
It wasn't a mark.
Bernie, Castricum, Emily. Away go Vermont towards half forward. Wilcox got a hand to it. Just couldn't take the mark. Davis in behind, kept his feet. Wilcox did well, got the ball. Hand pass back to McCafferty. Got some pace, this young man. Comes through the middle. Good kick, man, on his own, but it's over Purdy's head. Styles is there. Rowville doing well. Purdy might have been held on to.
Styles, yep. He played it nicely too. Threw the arms out. Made sure the umpire saw every little piece of it.
Yep, Kev Bartlett would be proud of him.
If it was Styles, sorry.
Purdy was next to him, so you were almost right.
Just ran in front of each other, and Styles has been forward quite a lot today. Has gone into the midfield. Have a good look at this. Not too far out, only probably 20 metres by the time he kicks it. It's a nice kick too. Great goal there to Jaden Styles. He has his second of the afternoon, and Vermont just don't go away. And going 27 minutes in this term. Rowville lead 12-11 to Vermont, 9-13.
They don't look like going away, Vermont, but they actually don't look like they're going to win the game at the moment. They're just not showing enough, right, to say that they're going to threaten to take this game. They need to show something to Rowville. They're going to try and take the game away from them. I'm not seeing that yet.
Well, it's been goal for goal in this third term. It's like Vermont need to see a Rowville goal and that lead to go out again for them to kick into gear and kick the next one, and then they just sort of relax. But Schoenmakers is absolutely dominating in the ruck this afternoon. He gets another hit out there.
And that was a carbon copy of what happened last week in the South Croydon game. The two big guys, Garner and Schoenmakers, took over in the second half and provided so much opportunity for the Rowville midfield, and it's happening again today.
Well, the thing with a good ruckman can control a game of footy, and it just seems to me that's what Schoenmakers is doing, giving them first use every single time. Robinson lays the tackle.
Hitouts 22-10 this quarter.
Hitouts?
22-10, yeah.
There you go. I dare say most of those would be Schoenmakers. He spent more time in the ruck in the second half than Garner has. They definitely shared the load this afternoon. On hands and knees.
Certainly would probably be a bit unfair to speak about young Wale Buxton in that way, but they're more combative ruckman than Vermont too. Obviously Castricum known for his work in the back line.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not true ruckmen in the pure sense.
Couple of stoppages in a row. The umpire had the whistle to the mouth, but let it go a little bit longer, which was fine because the ball eventually came out. First one there for Vermont is Davidson. He gets around a tackle and loads up to high half forward in the Wilcox direction. Flies amongst a couple of Hawks. The handball comes out. The shot on goal for the Eagles bounces across the face, and in the perfect spot was Mendez. He rolls back through on the left foot and just pushes it to the left-hand side. So he got the lucky bounce, wasn't able to finish. Vermont having kicked 2 goals in a row, I think, at all.
Maybe
today. Maybe once.
Once, the first and the last.
Oh, they probably have, but it's been more like 1-6 rather than 2 goals.
Well, they moved to 9-14 after being 3-11. They've started to square the ledger a little bit. Robert Hill for Rowville.
Put in the back pocket, Hill squares it up. Mark taken by Jay Kinder. Defensive goal square, dangerous kick. They've worked the switch, but he's missed his man by a long way. And almost 30 minutes gone.
I just want to get to three-quarter time here, Rowville.
I think Vermont, if they could get another goal here, Vermont, just sow a seed of doubt in the Rowville mind.
It's like, sure, it looks like Kyle Staples out there. It's a long kick, and it looks
Barry
pretty
Murphy.
good. Sorry, Barry Murphy, and he's just missed to the right-hand side. So another behind to Vermont.
One more goal will make it very, very interesting. They've cut the margin now back to 8 points at three-quarter time. We've just ticked past the 30-minute mark here, so the three-quarter time siren can't be too far away. Rowville will have to be very careful. Played on from full-back. Goes out to a 2-on-1 at the half-forward line and pushes it far too wide. Out of bounds on the full. The ball's in the hands of Preto.
Vermont will have to score from this opportunity. I think this forward 50, they need to score something.
He should just get it in there, Preto.
It's wasting too much time here. The left footer stabs the ball forward. He kicks it to Hicks on the lead, but unfortunately he plays for the other side. It's Ryan Hicks for Rowville. Centre half back. Affecting the good spoil there was Staples, but Garner up to the task at ground level. Holds on to the footy for a fraction of a second longer. McCarthy drops the mark, goes to the other Garner of the Mitch variety. Now Rowville have done enough work to get it up to half forward. Perry and Robinson. Robinson gets the footy. He's almost wrapped up by Perry. Gets it to Frawley, who throws it out. No free kick from the umpire. Wosley's got the ball on centre wing after receiving the kick from McCafferty.
He's played really well, Connor McCafferty. He's had a really good quarter.
And there's the three-quarter time siren. You're spot on, Brash. He's just added that little bit of leg speed that Vermont lacked in the first half. But there's the three-quarter time siren. The premiership quarter is done and dusted. 12